RPG A Day 2021, Day 17. At the very last moment, roughly 8 seconds ago at the time of recording, I was going to make this RPG A Day 2021 entry be a response to the prompt, trap. The whole thing was laid out in my mind like Muad'Dib's golden path. And as I lifted the mic, I heard Admiral Akbar's voice warning me off. I suppose he could have just been practicing his diction, but I felt that it would be a crime if I found out later that he was trying to save me and I had failed to heed his words. Hence, I'm regrouping as I speak and summoning up all the things that I might want to share about the prompt Nemesis, sorting through them and choosing the thing that will form the backbone of this response. It might be a little stressful to suddenly need to make a change like this, but you deserve it. As we mentioned a few days ago, when we headed into the weekend with the all-caps prompt Doom, the word Nemesis has been enjoying a cool amount of topic drift since its introduction. After hitching up with a high-profile operator on the god tier of the Olympic elite, there really hasn't been any looking back. It has been all revenge and implacable enemy ever since. It wasn't always like that, but then again, since when do we expect things to stay the same? Never mind. Forget I asked. Long, long ago, in a galaxy that is as close as we're going to get, the term Nemesis was less about revenge and more along the lines of what Doom used to mean. It was built on a framework of allotment or distribution of the share a person was due. Although not a judgment per se, as Doom was, that judgment was required in order to get to the proper apportioning of one's just deserts, be they reward, requirement, or retribution. In games, we have seen the influence of the pulp genre gift us with mechanisms of play which deliver mooks or minions, and we have seen those rules further expand to bring us nemeses as well. Whether as GM advice on playing an enemy, opposed to the character's goals and dedicated to punishing, harming, or outright destroying them, or as actual rules dedicated to making the GM's job easier in portraying such a character mechanically, the outcome of this development has been worlds which offer greater contrast in character type and capability, while also greater ease in providing richer context for the decisions play will bring into being around the players. With or without such rules, though, the Nemesis in its oppositional understanding of revenge and resistance is not solely in the hands of the GM. I don't mean that the characters must come to actively oppose and seek revenge on the Nemesis, as much or more as the Nemesis seeks it on them. I mean that the Nemesis is a character to be taken seriously and with concern. Anything less, and we're not talking about a Nemesis. In that sense, it's a two-way relationship of reactions. On the GM side, play of the Nemesis must feel justified and cannot come across as petty or as plot by the numbers. We don't have a nemesis because we are expected to have a nemesis. A nemesis must be earned, and the actions of that nemesis are the just consequences of our own actions. If the GM takes that understanding and takes actions from that footing, the chances of a comrade or a rival naturally developing into an enjoyable nemesis increase. On the player side, if the actions of the Nemesis are grounded in a relatable and righteous or self-righteous sense of retribution, the response to the Nemesis can more easily be allowed to sting in all the right ways of personal justification with just the right hint of guilt. It doesn't have to be forced or faked or decided in committee. It can grow from a real and personal place. We are not owed a nemesis, and adding one to a game can feel formulaic and so fall flat. If, however, we give room on the character level for real responses in tune with character and situation, then we might be surprised at the just desserts our play serves us. Now, as a reflection of this claim put forward here just now, that a nemesis is born, not made, that a nemesis is earned, not simply inserted for the sake of form, I find I cannot easily cite a video in our playlists that include a nemesis. I do, however, have a link, and I've included a link in the written blog and here to a solo session in our all-for-one Regime Diabolique Lights and Darkness campaign, which I think offers up a good example of how one starts, how one can develop and play. The difference is, I think, though, that the character growing into the role of Nemesis is actually my character, a player character, Martin, and that he's growing to become the nemesis of his villainous Hungarian cousin, Dorosia, not the other way around. But that little twist of perspective doesn't matter. To view the example, you can go to the blog at castingshadowsblog.com and check out the embedded video. It's called Margot. Or you can follow the link provided in the show notes. Or you can go to YouTube to the Runeslinger channel and search in the all-for-one actual playlist for the session called Margot. Thank you for listening to the Casting Shadows podcast, an extension of the Casting Shadows blog found at castingshadowsblog.com and of our YouTube channel, which is called Runeslinger.